It takes a village, because for all means for all. Together we'll break down any wall. Linked in love, we won't disarm. We're uniting the grassroots army strong. So press play, feel the spark. This is where the movement starts. It takes a village and we're the proof. Truth in action, raising the roof. It takes a village. It takes a village. We rise together, louder than fear. One voice, one fire, crystal clear. From every banner, every street, unity moves on dancing feet. We rise together, we're strong. A million hearts singing one song.
Folks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If you're ready to get this party started, so am I. Welcome everybody to It Takes a Village Politics. We don't talk just politics. We amplify people building power from the ground up. I am your charming and furious host, Political Jess. And spoiler alert, I'm not going anywhere. Not today, not tomorrow, not till the grassroots win, and even then, who knows. Straight from the great state of Georgia, running for Congress in District 10, ladies and gentlemen, let's shake it up and give the most wonderful welcome to the incomparable Lexy Doherty. Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I'm much better now that I've figured out how to put the background up.
Fabulous. And guys, we're in for a super big treat tonight because we actually have two candidates joining us tonight. I'm going to spend some time with you, Lexy, and then I'm going to bring up an amazing candidate in Colorado. And I kind of want you guys to talk to each other because the idea, right, is that you will both be serving together. And it's really good that you guys get to know each other. Her name is Zuri. She's down in the chat. She is incredible. Everybody go follow her. She's great. She's great. Okay, so before we get into opening up the panel, there's always two questions that I ask after we get started. The first question, and Zuri, have an answer for these because you're getting a little preview here. So the first question I always ask is, you've heard of the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? We are not being hit with straws. We are being hit with the whole damn camel. The whole damn camel in our face. Constantly. It's a different camel every day. It's super exhausting.
Real.
So what is the camel that broke your back that inspired you to run? And if you could give us a little synopsis on your constituency in Georgia, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So the camel that broke my back, if that's the right way to say that, was that we did not have a candidate that was running for this seat seriously. I've just been a political nerd forever. I was actually a poll worker and just, watching different races in the area. And I saw the 10th district and there was no one that was running for it. We had like maybe 3 or 4 cycles where the Democratic candidate basically won the primary and then went home, like didn't even campaign in the general. And so at first I started asking around to see if there was anyone planning to run against this person who had won several cycles, just to support them, like thinking we needed to do something different. And basically the response I got was that no one was planning to run. And I thought that was just ridiculous. So I kind of had one of those, if not me, then who moments. And here we are. So this is my second time running. I ran in the last cycle. And I'm based in Athens, Georgia, where UGA is. So we're kind of a little blue bubble. And then like a lot of southern districts were pretty gerrymandered. So we've got Athens in the middle and then parts of 20 counties, kind of rural Georgia around us. So that's, I think, one of the reasons that nobody was running really is because they didn't think it was possible. And it does feel good now. I knew that it was going to take, a couple years probably to get things, flipped. But last year, we were able to move the district 3 points towards the Democrats in a year where most races kind of went the other way. So I
Yes.
felt like, we got the right message. I'm the right candidate. That we're on the right track. And now in Georgia, we just flipped these 2 public service commission seats for the first time in like 20
Yes.
years. And then if you heard about Georgia House District 121 that just flipped, that is smack in the middle of my district. That was Athens and Oconee County. Not in Cumming or Lawrenceville. I just saw that pop up. I'm like, that's just outside of my district. So I have just a tiny bit of Gwinnett County. But yeah, so here we are. If you break out the 10th district from that Public Service Commission race last month, my district went 54-46 towards the Democrats. So now there's a whole lot of people saying, wow, I think you can actually do this. And it feels good. Feels pretty good to say, I told you all we could do this.
Yeah, I think that the temperature has definitely changed a lot. And I'm in North Texas. I'm in rural North Texas, and they're feeling it here too, which is so refreshing because I know that Georgia's been struggling with the same sort of political climate that Texas has, in that Democratic voters just don't want to vote. They just don't want to vote.
Everybody thinks their vote doesn't matter. And then we have elections like this. So Eric's race, he won by less than 200 votes. So I'm like shouting from the rooftops. If you canvassed, if you called people, like that could be the difference between flipping a seat or not.
Yes, 1,000%. I say that a lot, sorry. So here's my second question, and I'm going to encourage you to just be as candid and honest and open as humanly possible, because this is kind of a big deal, and I know that it grades on a lot of Democrats, especially right now. Many voters, especially young, working class, and marginalized communities, feel betrayed by candidates who run on these bold progressive platforms but quickly compromise or abandon those values once they're elected. So if you win this seat, and you will win this seat because we manifest that shit around here, okay? How will you ensure that your actions match your promises, especially when pressured by party leadership, corporate donors, or political expediency? What is your plan to stay rooted in the grassroots movements that got you here?
I mean, the quick and dirty is I'm just stubborn. I've worked a lot with the Democratic Party because it's Georgia and like I don't have a chance otherwise. But I'm like a lot of people. I'm 30. I turn 33 next week. That's funny. So
hey, happy birthday! What day?
Christmas Eve.
Oh, really? My daughter's birthday's on Monday.
Baby. Oh, you said your birthday or
my daughter's.
Oh, happy almost birthday to your daughter.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yep. So happy almost birthday to you. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with a lot of the young people and working class voters that feel betrayed by the party. So I mean, one thing for me is that I'm not taking corporate money or corporate PAC money. I really want my donors and the people that I'm answering to be my voters. I think that's the best way to do it. Also, I'm sick of kind of corporate and lobbyist control of politics in general. I think that's like one of the worst things that has happened to politics in my lifetime. I think for me, making sure that I'm just not even entertaining those like corporate interests is a big part of it. And just making sure that I'm always listening to the people in this district and that working with different people and focusing on their needs as opposed to, I don't know, whoever wants to buy votes.
Yeah, I think that that's super important. And the reason that I bring up that question to every candidate now is because a lot of people are feeling really kind of disheartened by Fetterman, among many other candidates who promise one thing and then deliver something completely opposite of that. So
the thing that's making me want to beat my head against a wall right now is the Jack Smith testimony, and that Merrick Garland had evidence, that like beyond a reasonable doubt, Jack Smith said it himself, that I mean, I think there should have been charges for 2020. And
oh yeah,
here we are.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. um, for sure. So let's kind of stay on that lane though. So what would you do if you're elected in the seat, and will be, because we manifest that shit around here. What will you do when you get into Congress to address that, to ensure that this kind of thing can't happen again, right? Like, our democracy is so incredibly fragile. So what do you plan to do to address it when you get into Congress?
So to me, I think there's two pieces that we need both. And the first one is accountability, right? I think there's a lot of people that feel that because so much corruption is happening out in the open, that they think they're going to get away with it. And, I'm thinking to myself, man, I cannot wait to be in some hearings where we are bringing charges or like making sure that the truth comes out. So I think to myself, this is all going to be really easy to prove. So I definitely think we need accountability for the very many crimes that have come out of this administration. And I also think we need to pass laws to make sure that a lot of this can't happen again. So I think of things like, this is kind of backing up a little bit, but overturning Citizens United, making sure that we do get the money out of the politics. And I think we need ethics rules for the Supreme Court. I think there's so many things we can do to strengthen. I'm sure everybody says this, but we've kind of come to realize that our government is just, I think of it like three norms in a trench coat, that there's so many things that weren't really rules that everyone just collectively agreed upon. And now I think I hope most people have realized that we need like actual rules to make sure that a lot of this doesn't happen again.
With teeth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're seeing that right now. We have rules, we have laws, we have them, but they have no teeth. They have no, they have no, there's no enforcement mechanism. And if there is an enforcement mechanism, there's no desire or backbone by people in charge to enforce them. Yeah, and that is it's devastating. So yes, Zuri, I completely agree. It is kind of nice to be like, I go into these lives I have to tell you, because I go into these lives all the time, right? Like, and TikTok is kind of its own unique, wonderful beast, where there's a lot of debate, right? And most of the time with those debates, they just don't go anywhere. They're circular. They don't have there's not a genuine conversation happening. I love me a good echo chamber. I'm just gonna say, I love me a good echo chamber.
These days it's nice, for sure.
It is so nice. It's like, you mean I don't have to define what a woman is? That's fantastic. I love this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so tell me what you would say if you could pick as a voter. We have to focus on issues that are important to us. Otherwise, we will lose our effing minds. Okay. But as somebody who's running for Congress, you have to have your hands in every single pot and know every single issue and have an answer for every single question. But let's say that you only had to pick three. What would be the three things that you want to fix as soon as you get into Congress?
First one is raising the minimum wage. I think that gets overlooked a lot. Like we said, I live in kind of a rural, very working class area. There's a lot of people here that make not a living wage. And, I think it's different for people in kind of big cities and stuff like that, where probably the regular wage is higher than the minimum wage. In my district, that would change people's lives overnight. So that's the biggest one for me. I'm also really worried about AI and jobs, especially for kind of working class folks, I think we're going to be the first ones hit. So I think we need a jobs guarantee. That's something I've come around on. It didn't used to be a priority of mine, but I think the economy just is going to be changing so dramatically because of AI. I think if you want a job, you should be able to get a job, and it should be a job that pays you a living wage. That to me is like step one. And then probably my third thing is Medicare for all, or I mean, damn, I will take a public option at this point. But I mean, I think what is happening with healthcare right now is fucking absurd. Excuse my language.
Oh, you can cuss here. You can cuss here. That's totally fucking allowed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so the ACA subsidies going away. A lot of people, again, this is something that's kind of specifically going to harm Georgia because Georgia is one of the 10 states that haven't expanded Medicaid. So we have more people than most states in the gap of affordability where they aren't covered by Medicaid. And so they used to get these expanded subsidies, and now those are going away. So we have so many people that are about to either just stop being able to afford healthcare altogether, or their healthcare is like doubling or tripling sometimes.
Man.
Crazy.
So would you fight for Medicaid for all, Medicare for all then? Is that where your platform stands?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have rural hospitals in your area that are closing because of what is happening right now?
So there are no hospitals, like entire hospitals that are closing in my district. But there's a lot of areas in my district that already don't have healthcare. So in my district, again, we have parts of 20 counties. 8 of those counties don't have an OBGYN. So we have a lot of rural counties that don't have sufficient healthcare to begin with. So it's only going to get worse. So the most recent closing I've heard is there's a hospital in my district that's closing its labor and delivery ward. So it's not the whole hospital, but we're not going to have a labor and delivery ward anymore. And it's like rural Northeast Georgia. And so they will have to either drive like an hour to Athens or an hour and a half to Atlanta to get to like a hospital with a labor and delivery ward.
That makes
Crazy.
my skin boil, because you know who's impacted by that? You know who's affected by that? It's fucking women.
Yeah.
It's us. It's women. So that makes me angry.
Georgia's terrible with maternal health care already. So it's just,
Yes, so is Texas. I mean, it seems like it's a common theme throughout the South, honestly. And most red states don't give a shit about women. So, yeah, we're pissed off about that.
yeah, I'm absolutely with you.
So, yes. Hopefully it's getting better though, not worse. That's a thing. So tell me about economic justice then. How are you going to ensure that federal infrastructure and clean energy investments reach rural Georgia communities, not just urban centers or corporate developments?
Yeah. Oh man, you're speaking my language. So that to me is central. A big thing around here is broadband. So we have a lot of rural communities that still don't have broadband. And I mean, from an economic justice perspective, you can't have a business, you can't have education, you can't have anything in like the modern world if you don't have access to high-speed internet. I mean, it's required for everything today. So
Yeah.
from my perspective, making sure that technological advancements kind of across the board reach rural areas is, central to me. It's like a requirement of being a part of the modern world. And and this to me is one of the issues that I have with the previous administration, because we had these great broadband bills, but there's not been any broadband put in the ground. So I think to me, it's not just that we have to fight and get these good laws passed. I think we have to be relentless about getting them implemented, because if we don't, then you get the next administration like Trump who just rolls everything back. So I think we have to both make sure we get these things passed and then move really fast to make sure that it gets where it needs to go. And that's, to me, broadband, that's, clean energy. education, healthcare, like I think it all goes together, and we have to, I don't know, I hate to use this phrase from Silicon Valley, but like move fast and break things, you know? I
Yes.
think we have to be as aggressive and relentless for good as they are being for evil.
Yep. So tell me, I'm going to bring Zuri in a second too, because these things are things that resonate throughout the country, right? And I love the idea of you guys building a relationship now.
Me too.
Like we got to build a grassroots community and make sure that, rising tide lifts all boats, right? So, but before I do that, I want to talk to you about your plan to expand access for small business grants, mentorship, and low interest loans for Black, Indigenous, and immigrant entrepreneurs in your district.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of times, kind of Democrats, people on the left, everyone just assumes that they're anti-business because we are, talking about corporate taxes and, corporate overlords and that kind of thing. But I actually think that small businesses are, the backbone of our economy, right? So my mom owned a small business. I kind of grew up working in my mom's store, and, that's what paid for my riding lessons as a kid. That's what paid for my brother's saxophone. So I think that, and especially we should all prefer to work for ourselves as opposed to someone else. Like I said, I'm stubborn. I don't want someone to tell me what to do. I think we all know what's best for our own communities. And we have so many subsidies that go to these, multinational corporations and billionaires. I think it should be going towards building small businesses and strengthening local economies. Because if we get a grant in rural Georgia that it goes to a corporation, the money just leaves. Sorry, that's my dog. Let her out.
Okay. I've got two of them, so you're good.
Sorry about that. That was Rosie. She's a
I
puppy and
love
she's kind of a
Rosie.
monster. Sorry, I derailed myself. But yeah, I to wrap it up in a bow, I'm so supportive of making sure that, the money that goes towards big businesses gets focused on smaller businesses, especially businesses that have traditionally, or, business owners that have been traditionally left out. Because, in the South, it's like 99% of those subsidies and grants go to businesses owned by white men, right? Like, it's still a thing.
Rosie has a lot to say about that. She's an opinion. I love that for her. Zuri, thank you so much for coming up. Let me introduce you really quick. So I'm going to expand your screen if you want to turn on your camera. I don't know if you have your background set so people know who you are, but if not, then that's totally fine. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, here. Yes. Sorry. Let me add the background because I had it and it was fun. And then I have to find it again.
Okay, no worries. I'll give you a sec to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce to you an amazing candidate from Colorado's 5th Congressional District, joining us to help flip tables in the best possible way. This is Zuri Horowitz from Colorado.
Hi, thanks for having me on. And sorry.
I love, okay, so just so you guys know, this is like the last show of the year, right? So we decided to be a little festive today, and I'm loving, I need this in my life is all I'm saying. So yes.
Yeah, good. I was like, I hope this is the appropriate level.
Yes.
And not too much. Yeah.
No.
We have a candidate running for treasurer who's also talking about community banking. So using nonprofit, credit unions and then like local banks to invest in local communities and make it easier. Especially like one of the things that we had a town hall with veterans, and one of the things they talked about is like not just the initial investment, but also when you're going through a hard time, is there a little bit of a pool of money to get you through the hard time? Because I think that, it's like, okay, so you get everything open, it's really beautiful, you do well for 6 months, and then something happens, and are you unable to get through, or, are you able to keep going? You know what I mean? So yeah, now I have only one candidate.
I love that. So great. Amazing. Yes, Kayla, you are absolutely right. The women are going to save us. Let me fix my settings here real quick because I would like to do something here. While we're doing that, can you guys tell me what your experience in your specific states is with women's rights? And Lexi, I'm going to have you go first.
Trash, to put it bluntly. We have a 6-week abortion ban, a heartbeat bill, using my air quotes. There's a case that probably a lot of y'all have heard of where a woman was pronounced brain dead and the hospital refused to take her off of life support. And her son is now, I think, 6 or 8 weeks old. I might be a little behind. And still in the NICU. I mean, it's just, yeah, women are treated terribly. Women are refused sorry, I can't talk. Abortions are refused for women actively going through miscarriages. I know someone who was having a miscarriage and she's an OBGYN, like she's a physician. And she could not get an abortion while she was actively miscarrying until there was no longer a heartbeat. And I worry about, I mean, if we have OBGYNs who, there's no one that could advocate for themselves in their pregnancy better, that are denied adequate health care. Like, I'm very afraid for the rest of us. Adriana Smith, thank you. I appreciate you who put that in the chat.
Yeah, we have it in our Constitution, and that was one of the biggest things. We have it enshrined in our Constitution. One of the biggest things I didn't want to have is like a better law without it being in the Constitution. But still, at the federal level, if they mess things up, it's like, and women's rights should not vary based on the state. You know, you should be able to have bodily autonomy and make those decisions for yourself. I think people make it really complicated and talk about all these complicated, horrific stories, but people should not have to share their horrific stories for people to have just basic bodily autonomy and be able to make that decision of whether they have a kid themselves with their doctor. Because this is not about having more children. All this does is put people at risk and not be able to get medical care they need and not be able to plan a life where they can really support their kid. Like, I don't have kids. I think it's a big thing to have a kid. And I think we should do everything we can to support people that have kids. But we can't just act like having a child is this easy, mindless thing and that it doesn't involve great risk and that there aren't factors that you don't know about. So, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely chaps my ass on a level that I cannot express how much it sucks that my daughter has less rights than an American girl in Oregon right now.
That's something. So when Roe got overturned, I mean, the first thing I did was call my mom. And that's exactly what she said. She was like, I can't believe that my daughter has less rights than I did. And that like really hit me.
Yeah, I was more like, in my own head, I was like so angry to be like, one day I have rights and now I don't. And it kind of radicalized me because it was like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm not a full person in this country anymore. So who cares? Do what I can to try to make this country better because I'm sick of this kind of BS.
Thank you for joining the panel, Boxer Mom. Your dogs are adorable, by the way. Did you have a question for our guest today?
I
Or did you
can't.
accidentally
Yeah, but y'all are talking. I live in Oklahoma.
You poor dear.
Yeah. And so I don't know if y'all noticed, but in Texas, the maternal mortality has gone up to 56%.
Yeah.
That is terrifying for over half. Over half of them are unsafe, and then we know that that they don't treat every race the same.
Yep, that part.
Yeah, and so they have even a higher mortality rate. But what are we doing? It's most definitely not about the baby is just about control, but so many women are being hurt by it across the U.S. I mean, we had one in Oklahoma where they told them just to go. If they almost bled out in the parking lot, then they could come back in.
That's
So,
outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. And I think that you're seeing what we're doing. Like we have amazing women like what you see on the panel right here who have had enough of this shit and who are running for office because they know that the only way that they can change the rules is if they win the game, right?
yeah, yeah,
So and the other thing that we're doing is we're not just going into the voting booth and casting our ballot and then leaving and expecting our civic duty to be done. That's not what we're doing this time around. We're getting involved. We're doing phone banking. We're having we're having TikTok lives and panels with candidates with our teeny tiny platforms, and we're making a hell of a lot of noise, and we're wearing shirts that tell people exactly where we stand on history, and we're not being quiet, and we're not making people comfortable, and we're doing all of these things because we have little girls who are depending on us. So I think that
yes,
I
and
think
I
that you're
appreciate
seeing
that.
that.
Yeah, I do. I really appreciate that, and I'm I'm hooked up where I'm doing some of the call banking or banking calls,
Yes,
whatever. I'm doing that.
amazing.
Have y'all? I like I said, I accidentally hit the button, but have you guys heard of the Medical Collective?
No, share that with us. What's that?
Okay, and there's many doctors here. Dr. Keisha Davis, Dr. Sharon Smith, Dr. Leslie, but on TikTok she goes by MD Art. Um, Dr. Tusa. Um, they've been doing. They come online regularly to answer questions, give out facts. Um, and these are amazing black doctors that are getting that. They're not getting pushed out, enough. But they interviewed, I should say interviewed, they did a podcast. They have a podcast, you can go listen to it. Please do. Where they interviewed Haley Stevens, that she was writing up the um, impeach RFK Jr. files and was
Yeah.
talking that whole thing was about hell. Um, anyway, you might check. I would check that out. They're amazing, and when they come online, I drop everything because they're amazing at helping and giving advice and uh, facts. They're using different things, because the CDC's compromised, so they're using different
Oh yeah.
avenues to get the information. But anyway,
That's
if
awesome.
since we're kind of talking about this, you might, you know,
Yeah,
check that
thank you.
out. It's a good one. Hmm.
I'll definitely
I'm
look
gonna
it up.
send you I'm gonna send you a message, okay? So we can talk about
Okay.
that because I think that would be super super awesome information to have, and I would love to push out as much of their information as possible, especially if they're doing what they can to help women get through this dark time that we're living in. I mean, you have to laugh to keep from crying. I don't know what we're
It's
doing.
crazy.
I'm
I
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, never
insane.
in a million years would I think that our medical that they would actually uh, destroy the medical system because we all benefit from it. So I thought, in that regard, we were safe because of course, I voted for Kamala and everything. I've never voted for that. I voted anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, but for them to really approve this idiot, confirm him, and put him in there. He's extremely dangerous, and he has done decades of damage.
I really
The
worry
good thing,
about that we're basically doing an experiment on society again. Like what, okay, we're going to find out really quickly what happens when people don't get vaccinated.
Yeah, they were
Okay,
talking
people are
about
going to realize it really quickly.
yeah, and not getting the hepatitis B shot or that. Uh, yeah, they were really upset that day. They were like, "This is really bad. It's going to cost a lot of lives, babies' lives."
Well,
yeah,
and I think
But
I think that's like why at least I'm running. I know because I think the stakes are very, very high. I think people want to kind of downplay what's going on. And we are lucky that in the past, our country had a huge number of people who were really talented and intelligent that were coming to our schools and innovating and coming here from other countries because they knew we were the best place to innovate and do science and explore. And when we make it so that we're against medical science, when we're against actual any science, we are the leader worldwide. So we're where people take the cues from. And then when we don't exist anymore, like people don't have another backup, like there's the WHO, but it does not have as much funding. And we're just, it's so weird. I mean, it's weird if you care about the United States to do what they're doing to the CDC and everything. It's not weird if you don't care about the United States and you just want power and money. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have to get into power. And I was like, yes, Lexy, exactly. I want an enforceable code of ethics for the Supreme Court. And I think possibly voted on by other federal judges, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then making sure that we have that if you're in Congress, you can't be a lobbyist before or after. I'm running against somebody that's a corporate lobbyist. It was a lobbyist for insurance companies who's like, I'm for Medicare for all, but we just can't make it happen. I'm like, why can't it happen? Just a question. Is it because you worked for 10 years to make it not possible for it to happen? It's like, yeah. And big thing about getting money out of politics. People just keep acting like, the same person has lots of money and they're like, well, but they have so much money. I'm like, but you've not spoken about one single policy they're going to do that will help you. Just winning is not the same.
Get Citizens United reversed.
Exactly. Well, we need to, I think we need a constitutional amendment to overturn it.
Yeah. Did you hear the idiot today talking that he's just going to go to them insurance companies? He's going to tell them, you better lower your pharmaceuticals. Yeah, good luck with that.
By 600%.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
He doesn't know math very well, guys.
Let's just be honest. He doesn't know anything. I mean,
yeah.
We're dealing with a 2-year-old is smarter than him.
Yeah.
So, but I'll let y'all go. But yeah, send me that message. I would love for y'all to be able to come on their lives, because to be able to hear the medical side and get the facts and truth, for when y'all go out on your campaigns. And thank you for running to save the rest of us. So.
Thank you
so much, Boxy Mom. I appreciate
Thanks for all that you're doing too. It's a big group effort, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, and if we're speaking out together and we're working together, then things have to change, because there's more of us than there are of them. So, don't lose hope. That's what they want us to do. Okay.
Yeah, I won't. 100%. My dad passed away on D-Day this year. And, he's always told us, you shouldn't hate people, right? Like, that's such a big word. But he is the only person my dad has ever hated. And the first time, I'll say this and I'll leave, but the first time he ran, my dad said, if that man wins, he will set this country back 50 years or more.
He was right.
And he was right. And so it upset me, him having to go out and see, not knowing he's leaving the world with this going on. But so my dad would still be here. And we've got the idiot in the White House that dodged it 5 times. So I'm pretty bitter about that. But my dad was never like, oh, well, me, like, why me? No, he never complained, nothing. It's just when your number gets called, you go and serve. He didn't believe in that war. He didn't believe in that war, but he got called, so he went. So
that's sacrifice, and that's amazing. So
yeah. Oh, and real fast, I'll just say this real fast, and I'll leave it on. If anyone in the military passes, if one of your loved ones passed away, you do not have to. We denied the president letter from the orange guy. We denied it to not receive it. Because we found out you can also write to any living president, and they will send it to you and send you a flag that flew over the Capitol.
Wow.
Yeah, so anybody in that position where you're like, you feel like, because it was just, God, it was a gut punch when he got his honor, the flag. He got full military honors, and that was a gut wrench. But when I found that out, I was like, okay, I know how I'm ranking too. He loved Obama, and he thought Biden did an amazing job. So I just wish that it would send a letter back to Trump and telling him why we don't accept his letter. But anyway, I didn't know if anybody knows that. Anybody in that position, if it makes you feel better, go for it. That's what we're doing. So I think it's better if you kick me, isn't it? Like for the algorithm or something?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how the algorithm works. I don't know how to do this TikToky thing. We're
But
figuring
thank
it
y'all
out
for
together.
fighting.
But thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you sticking around and hanging out with us. So thank
Well,
you
thank you
so
so
much, Box
much.
Mom.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
You too. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody's being a little silly in the chat, but yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's a kind of weird take. Okay. One of our followers, Scotty, is going through some. He's in Kansas City, and there's some, there's some emergency issues going on there. So if you guys could send some good juju Scotty's way, that would be fantastic. And if anybody knows of, how to get a hold of Anderson Cooper, that would be great. Just put that out
What's
there.
happening there? Yeah, I didn't see what was going on, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like some flooding, maybe?
Yeah, I thought he said it was in Kansas City that there's some flooding happening. And I've got family in the Pacific Northwest, so same deal with them too. Global warming is a hoax, right?
We've only had one snow this year.
It's going to be 77 degrees on Christmas Day here in Texas.
Wow.
So
It was in the 60s. It's usually icy, and we just know there's going to be fires. Like I lived in Los Angeles, and one of the things that made me come back was also just beyond family and loving it here was just the fires. There are fires year round, ash in the sky all the time. And I'm just like, people really don't understand how terrifying it is to deal with that. Like all the time, to always be worried.
And the flooding in the Pacific Northwest is absolutely insane. I've got family up in Bellingham, and they're experiencing it right now. It's terrifying. So our thoughts are with you, Scotty. Be safe, okay? And if there's anything else we can do, please let us know. Hey, Kayla, how's it going?
Hey, can you take me back down? I was just tapping.
I guess so. I suppose she's my fabulous co-host, and I give her crap all the time. I'm just gonna kick you. Bye. Love you, babes. Yeah. So let's talk about global warming, guys, because this is climate change is happening, and it's hitting some communities harder than others. Thank God for President Trump, because he's got that black Sharpie that's keeping all the hurricanes away. Thank God for that. But I want to talk to you guys about what your plan, like what is your idea for your communities? What do you talk about on your campaign trails to kind of drive home that this is something that needs to change? So Zuri, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I mean, it's real. We've known since the 70s. Oil companies knew since the beginning. So it's one of those things where if I've gotten to arguments with people, I'm like, look, we're not going to outthink a massive hulking thing of science. We're not going to outthink a study in a conversation. Like, I'm not going to out science a scientist, no matter how smart I think I am, which I'm not that smart and you're not that smart. And even if someone's a scientist and there's one scientist who's that doesn't believe in global warming, who cares? Man, like there's tons of evidence. It's been proven over and over and over again. It's there. We need to deal with it. And right now, what we're doing is we're falling behind. So we bet on, I always say this, sorry, I'm repeating stuff I've said before, but we bet on the wrong horse. We bet on AI. AI is, it's a tool. It has some limited use cases, but I think it's being used to replace jobs. And instead of betting on new green technology like solar panels, like wind power, which Texas has done a better job of with solar, and like making sure there's in other countries you can install solar in a really easy way because they kind of have it all standardized and you don't have to go through and figure it out, and each house doesn't need a meter. So there's a ton that we could do to upgrade ourselves. We can have higher speed rail. It doesn't have to be high speed rail, but it can be higher speed and just up-to-date rail, up-to-date tracks. There's so much. That's where the innovation is coming from. That's where we really can revolutionize ourselves. And especially with rail, if you invest in it, it will cost money. But once you've invested in it, it's awesome and it lasts a really long time. So it's better to get the best than it is to install some half measure that doesn't work that well, like the Acela high speed rail that was like retrofitted to sort of work, and now it just doesn't work correctly. It's like, no, do it right, learn how to do it right, and then keep installing it. I think it's us getting elected. Sorry, like that's what it's going to take to get us to alternate. And I also think right now at this point in time, Texas has shown, Colorado has it more. It's cheaper. It's better. We're going backwards by trying to go with coal and oil. That's silly stuff, not useful, no need. We need to make the case. First off, it's just economically better. It's just better. It's more efficient. It works better. There are green cars in China that are $10,000. We can do better than this. We can fix it. We have to make the case and we have to push it. That's why we have to talk about it. That's why we're running, because if you don't make the case for the policy, it doesn't happen. It's not going to magically happen. Although at this point, because it is so much more financially valuable, there may be ways in.
What about for you, Lexy?
This is one of those things that I will try to be short because I studied geology. So actually climate is like one of the things that really got me invested in policy. So I guess I'll focus on like my district with my politics hat on. So I agree with everything Zuri just said. I mean, I'm a nerd for renewable energy and rail. Also, I'm autistic, and one of my favorite jokes is like, if vaccines actually caused autism, we'd have so much better rail.
Everybody would be so much smarter. Yes.
I'm also a spectrum.
Everywhere. Yeah.
I think we all. Yeah. I feel it.
If you don't talk about this stuff this long.
That's probably
yep.
So what I talk about a lot is affordability, because I mean, to Zuri's point, at this point, we're not talking about solar and wind from 10 or 15 years ago, like when I was in college and I was making the pitch. They're like, this could be better if we invested in it. Like, we're there. Solar panels are cheap to make. They are 100% recyclable. If anybody tells you they're not, they just don't know what's happening. It's tempered glass and plastic now. So they're recyclable. It is just like the economics are there. It's cheaper. It's faster to deploy than new gas, which is what Georgia's trying to build. It's just like, it's not even an argument anymore. And the only reason that I guess Trump is pushing oil and coal is because of his donors, right? Like they are like holding on to a dying industry, and we're going to get there. One of the things that I like, I always hesitate to say this, but the Republicans in Georgia saw what was coming, and we've invested in a lot of solar manufacturing, EV manufacturing. Maybe y'all heard about the Hyundai plant. That was a big thing. I won't get into that. But so, I mean, thank you to my country club Republicans in Georgia. I guess like they do see the economics that this is happening. And I do think we'll get to the point where the rest of the world the rest of the country will catch up. Yeah, I think about things like, no, I really am gonna just go down a rabbit hole forever. So I'll stop there. But there's so many things you can talk about with affordability. I think about like sea level rise and migration. Like, you're worried about migration now. What's going to happen when most of the world's population is underwater? Like, we could see huge climate migration if we don't take care of this. The flooding is already happening. I mean, if we don't get a handle on this. Yeah, I always tell everyone likes to say things like, well, the planet's been hotter before. And I always like to remind them, humans didn't live here then. So it's like, yeah, the planet's going to be fine. If you would like to continue living on it, we should probably figure this problem out.
Yeah. Just a little shameless plug here for Bree Woodson running for Congress in Georgia's 12th district, who's running against the lady who called the ICE agents on the Hyundai plant. You should definitely check out Bree Woodson. She is amazing, and she will be on our show next month. So,
Awesome.
yes. So yeah, I mean, climate change is kind of a big deal. And it's right now, like the whole solar thing, it chaps my ass because it's all for profit, right? Like if you wanted to put solar panels on your house, it's going to cost you $40,000 and it shouldn't be that way, right? So yeah, I don't know how we fix that.
Well, other countries have systems, so it's like it's very systematized. It's like you have a process, and part of it too is again not having like the meter on your house, but for like a community of houses. And when it's like, okay, take it and go and install, it's just much easier, and it exists in other countries. We can just follow what like Australia does. Apparently China covered like half of Pakistan in solar panels in like, like a year or something, you know what I mean? Like that's what's so embarrassing. That's what's so embarrassing is like the rail, all the stuff that we're doing is so far behind technologically. I'm like, how could we let ourselves have that happen? You know what I mean? Like, it's just embarrassing that we put money into what a dumb, like a Google search that's not as good as Google search. Like, and that's the bet we had. No.
It is embarrassing that we are just getting absolutely left behind technologically. I mean, we're nerds here. That to me is one of the things that I think was the most incredible about America in the past, that we invested in research, we invested in technology, and we led the world. And now we are just abdicating that leadership to
and we're going against it. One of the things that happened in Germany during the Nazi Germany is they killed their universities, and it's taken them, years and years and decades to recover, because once you become a place, bye Mike, once you become a place that doesn't respect people don't come back. People aren't like, you know what, let me try it again. They're like, once you round up all these people from like what it was, the Hyundai plant, and then it's like, why would South Korea, which is again cutting edge, doing really great stuff, want to come to us? It's like, how many times are we going to burn our allies? So yeah.
Do you remember when we like landed on the moon?
A lot of people don't even believe it happened.
I know. It's a problem. But yeah, we did that. That was, and yeah, I mean, I look at places like Japan, and I look at places like China, and I look at all of these places that have like solar panels built into their roads, and like these things are incredible, and they're living in they're living in 2025. We're living in 1974. Like, it sucks. It absolutely sucks, and we can do better. We can do so much better. We can give $1,776 to each active duty military person, but we can't invest in clean energy. It makes no sense to me. Would you guys really quickly support a Green New Deal?
Yeah.
I feel like
course. Yeah.
That's a little home run there for you. That's like, yes, we're going to clip that and put that all over the internet because it's needed and wanted in the world. So yeah, so let's talk about current events. Did you guys happen to see the marvelously inspiring and moving speech that the president did a few days back? Did you see that?
I saw
not all
5 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, that's enough of that. It was just like, it's like lying works when you're the opposition party, but when people are just there, I mean, and I guess it works in places like Russia, but to just kind of come out here and say, actually, like those groceries you can't afford are fine.
Don't believe your wallet.
Yeah, it's like, but I went there and it keeps doubling. Like, yeah, it's like my health insurance went up by 50%. I think something's happening. Like,
gas is not $1.99 a gallon. Like, what?
It's like, what is that 1984 quote? Deny like the evidence of your eyes and ears or something like that. I know it's overused, but it's so true. It's like they're
Do
just
not
expecting
believe your
people,
lying eyes.
yeah, just to not actually see what's happening around them. And I think people are smarter than that.
Well, and that's why we run. Like, I think it's really important to make the case. I think if we kind of let this be normal, if we let like just lying be the like de rigueur or whatever, we're going to go down a really bad path. Like, this is the time to make sure that we make the case for good policy, because I'm really scared for the direction the country's going if we don't.
So I want to, you're absolutely right. I want to talk to you guys about voting access because here's what I would implore to you, okay? That we can't change the rules unless people can play the game, right? And I will tell you that I will tell you my experience, and I'm going to let you guys kind of expand upon that, okay? Lancelot, I see you. I'm going to get you up in just a sec, okay? I moved here to Texas about a year and 2 or 3 months ago from California, okay? So in California, they had already sent me my ballot. They already sent me the huge booklet that you get that has all of the information on every single thing that you're voting for. There's a polling place, you know, on every corner. You can go pick up your latte while you're dropping off your ballot. Everybody is super friendly. If you don't have time, you can mail it in. You can register to vote when you're at the DMV. There's like, you know, it's
Sounds like
it's
magic.
a garden of Eden. It's beautiful. It's a paradise of voting access. Everybody has access to vote. Everybody has the time to vote. Everybody is given the power of this promise that America made. Okay, and then at the end of September, I moved my happy behind to Texas because I'm a glutton for punishment. And here we are. You have to have a driver's license. You have to have a Texas state driver's license in order to vote. But in order to get a Texas state driver's license, you have to make an appointment online. And the soonest appointment that they have is in February. Okay, so that's well after the election. And in order to register to vote, you have to go physically to your registrar's office, which is 30 to 45 minutes away, and register. They have to fill out a card. They send you the information back, and then you're put into the system. But the polling place that you have to go to, which is only open on election day, by the way, is 45 minutes away. There's not anything that's closer. So if you live in a rural area, you're sunk unless you have transportation. It's absolutely insane. And we're noticing, like in these bluer county, like in Harris County, there are polling places on every single corner. It is a mecca for exercising that promise, right? But it's not that way everywhere. And in order for us to change this climate that we're in order for us to change this hellscape that we're living in right now, everyone needs to have the same equal access as everyone else in this country. Because it's, you know, it's the promise that America made. So it shouldn't be harder for me. They shouldn't put me in a straw suit and expect me to jump through 57 flaming hoops to exercise my right to vote. But not the people in California don't have to do that. It's absolutely insane to me. So I'm going to plead with you both. The first thing, I'm hoping that we can get a consensus here. The very first thing that I want you guys to do in Congress is to fix voting rights for everyone.
I have to make sure, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Now, I don't know, Lexy, if
Nope, that's
you
next door.
have that same issue in Georgia. Probably not in Colorado because Colorado is amazing. But Lexy, can you tell me what your voting access looks like in Georgia?
Luckily, not quite that bad. That's shocking, though I guess I shouldn't be surprised. So there's a couple things that have changed in Georgia for the better, surprisingly. Recently, we have automatic voter registration now when you update your driver's license, which I was shocked when we did that. That just happened maybe 2 years ago, but we had this whole big package of a lot of voter restriction, like the IDs and all of that stuff in this package after 2020. But yeah, one of the things they did was automatic voter registration. So I was shocked that they made it easier for people to register. But we also have to have IDs. Luckily, they make it pretty easy to get IDs now. So Georgia's kind of a weird state for voter rights because in some ways we're going forwards and in some ways we're going backwards. And so luckily, at least all the counties in my district, I can't speak for the rest of the state, they're pretty decent about having enough precincts. Georgia's got good early voting. So actually I think the last couple cycles at least, there are more people that vote early than actually vote on election day. So I'm glad that we have that opportunity. Mail-in voting's terrible here, and most counties, if you want to return your ballot in person, there's only one drop box per county. It's really weird. Like I said, there's a really big mix of good rules and terrible rules. But things that I would like to see is automatic voter registration. That to me seems like a no-brainer for the whole country. Same day registration. If you move and you haven't updated your driver's license, who fucking cares? Like, you should be able to say, I live here now, like, let me vote. There's states that do it, and it works just fine. I would also like to see, holy cow, election day be a national holiday. Why is it not a holiday? That to me, we have holidays for stupid things. Like election day to me is like the fundamental, like the purpose of this country was freedom and democracy. Like, why is election day not a holiday?
Why is Columbus Day a holiday and not election day?
Thank you. Yeah, it makes no sense. On Colorado, though, I just learned, because my call time manager is from Colorado, she showed me the magical book of like the ballot information that, like, when y'all have ballot measures, it explains it to you. There's a whole book. She pulled it up and showed it to me, and I was like, that exists. In Georgia, they're like, good luck figuring out that wording.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll let you take the floor, Zuri.
Well, yeah, we've got I think it's pretty automatic registration. Like if you get a driver's license, you can automatically get registered to vote, and we have mail-in voting. One thing I would like to see is actually a few more drop boxes, at least in our region. I think there's a lot of places where it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get to, and it would be nice to have a few more of them. Another thing, so I also agree on having a national holiday, but in Colorado, because we do mail-in voting, I would love it if between the ballots dropping and election day, you can pick a day to take off. You know what I mean? Because sometimes what happens is everybody gets the time off. But like for us, like it might be better in terms of like, I would work in a nursing home. So like if everybody's off, you can't have all the CNAs off.
Yeah,
but that would be a problem. But if we could have it that they do get like a day off that is paid for, that would be amazing, just between now and election day. And then there's also like there is federal legislation like the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. And there's another piece, and I can't remember, but we need to restore basically everything that the Supreme Court has done to eat away at those rights, because it's like, having to have that ID, all that complication is just like torture for everybody. And, and it's, I also think we need more civic education. Everybody takes like maybe one government class, and now I'm even hearing places aren't having government. In Aurora, they were not having government or social studies, which is insane. So I just think that we could do better and have, make sure that people are educated and repeatedly educated, so that it's, sometimes you forget. So, yeah.
And things change too. Yeah, yes. We definitely need like consistent updates.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's a lot, even in a place that's great like ours, but yeah.
I think education is kind of a big deal all around. As far as education goes, it's being eroded in every state, just about. My daughter has less opportunity for a quality education than the people in Colorado or California or Oregon or Washington do. and that's insane to me.
Well, we
So
struggle here. We struggle. We just won some school board elections, but we have really been struggling. Like like I said in Aurora, they weren't teaching social studies, and people were
yeah,
tearing up pages from books. We had a lot of Moms for Liberty. We fought really hard to get school board candidates in, and that does not mean majority school boards. So yeah.
so what do you guys plan to do to reinstate the Department of Education and strengthen it so that this kind of thing, so it can never be eroded again? Do you have a plan for that?
Just gonna say, I think we can make it better. Is this? I feel like this with a lot of what Trump has destroyed. I think it's terrible, and I do think we should hold the line as much as possible. But I also try to reflect on the fact that this country did not work for most people ever. So I think we can do better. I think we need, more teeth for students with disabilities, because I know a family with a daughter who's has a disability, and even with the Department of Education behind her, she really struggled to get access for her daughter in our public schools, and even like in summer programs for the county. So I think we just need to have more uniform access. Just kids need protection, and kids need someone that's going to advocate for them. And, it's tough because I do think, I don't know how I feel about states having so much control over education, because you get states like Georgia and Texas where there's no, oh, this is one of those things I can get on my high horse about, but I'll be brief. So in Georgia, one of the things they do is they have this formula for funding, which I'm sure every state has a similar one. Ours, the last time it was actually overhauled was in the 80s, but they've been kind of like reducing the formula since the 80s. So Republicans wander around and get to say things like, we're fully funding education. But the fully funding of the education is based on a bullshit formula. We are like one of the few states where high poverty districts don't get extra funding. So the way that we fund education in Georgia is just terrible. And we also, just this last session, passed a voucher bill. So now public schools are getting even less funding. So that's something that I'm mulling over. I do think the federal government needs to have more control over how funding works, what's taught, because students in states like I grew up in South Carolina wasn't much better. It might actually be worse than Georgia, but yeah, not great to say the least.
Yeah, I'd say two things, because I talked to people that work in education or worked at the Department of Education, and they often would have, laws, or they'd have regulations, or they'd have money, but they wouldn't have the people to make sure that it was enforced and applied correctly. And like a lot of the time people are like, oh, I hate the way the government works. And it's like, well, they don't have the money or the people to actually make sure that things work correctly. So that's a big thing with the Department of Education. And then additionally, for us, we have Tabor here. And it means that even if we have the money from taxes, we have to give it back. And that also means that if we have extra money, we don't get to hold on to it. So if we have a year that is rough, like we are right now, everybody got refunds last year, and now we're cutting all kinds of things. Wow. So it's miserable. No one else has it, as far as I can tell. And it is crazy and miserable. And so I just say, like, we really need to get Tabor out of the way so that we can fully fund education. Because right now we have our teachers, compared to other professionals, are paid some of the worst in the country. Wow. Like, yeah. I
remember a few years ago, there was a huge teachers strike in Colorado. My ears have been pricked about education in Colorado for a few years.
It's been a problem. Yeah, we just had a teachers strike. We have a school board locally that many school boards that are anti-education, people people use charter schools as a way to defund education. I always say it's like if you own a house and you rent an apartment and you keep renovating the apartment and you never fix the house. It's a crazy way to do things. So yeah. No, looking at monopoly on educational materials, also like the way that textbooks can become, politicized or not allow real history in it. Yeah, so sorry. Let's keep going, but I'm like, I'll just keep going about it.
It's a problem. So, how do you plan to protect students from political censorship in the classrooms, especially around things like Black history, LGBTQ rights, and climate science? Lexi, I'll start with you.
So South Carolina, so speaking of, South Carolina education, there a year or two ago, South Carolina passed a law basically that you couldn't make students feel bad about their history. A teacher at my high school got fired for teaching about slavery because some students felt like it was attacking them, which is just, again, crazy. So, I mean, yeah, I think teachers need protection to teach about everything, right? I don't think there should be anything that is outside of the bounds, age appropriate, of course. I mean, I think that should go without saying.
Sure.
But I think, we have to know about the hard parts of history and I don't think we are not responsible for, the evils of our ancestors. But I do think we are responsible for not repeating those wrongs and learning from them. And I think, kids just need to learn about the reality of the world around them. One of the things that really gets me about book banning, and there's probably some people that are going to feel differently about this, but that I pretty much think kids should be able to read about anything, because the way that I see it, like, really bad stuff happens to kids in real life. And I think probably the safest way for kids to learn about hard things is through books. So, if kids around the world are dealing with tragedy, I think our kids in the United States can read about tragedy. And again, it's got to be in an age-appropriate way, and I leave the details of the pedagogy to the professionals. That's not my wheelhouse. But I just think teachers are professionals, and they should be allowed to run their classrooms as professionals. And, I understand if parents should be able to do whatever they want with their kids. If they want to homeschool, fine. But I don't think parents should get to dictate what happens in a classroom. Teachers should.
Yeah, and same with librarians. And I think same thing with sex ed. It's like we I think have such worse problems interacting with each other because kids haven't learned age-appropriate sex education and boundaries and how things are supposed to be respectful. And then you come in and you don't really know what you're doing. And then we're upset at kids that just have never been taught these things or never learned the history. And yes, it has to be age appropriate, but that's why we have teachers and that's why we have librarians who are professionals who do this for a living. And that's why we get to trust them and work with them. It's and I also, one thing I will say about homeschooling, yes, homeschooling is fine, but we need to make sure that if kids are homeschooled, that there are check-ins, because a lot of the time that can be a mask for abuse. So I just want to say, and we also have to pay teachers appropriately. I think we can boost our education a lot better if we're paying teachers a living wage so that they can live in their communities. And that's, that's on that. Yeah.
Big second to that one too. Teachers should be paid like professionals, not babysitters.
Fabulous Fine says, yes, there are many teachers that should not be teachers. So how do you address that?
Living wage.
What do you do about that?
What you have is teachers that come in and they don't want to be teachers, but it's the only thing they can do, because we expect our teachers to do it either out of the kindness of their heart, or they're a person that can't get hired anywhere else, and now they have to work here, and then we torture them for it. So of course we're not attracting the best and the brightest. We don't value our workers. We have to value our workers if we want to make sure that we have good education coming forward, because it's a lot of the time, if you're in Finland, if you're say that I'm a teacher, they're excited that you're a teacher. That's an exciting thing. That's a respected job that pays a fair living wage. And if we do that, we attract the best and the brightest. There are good curriculums. There is good training out there. We have at University of USC in Colorado, really great teacher training programs, but are these people going to stay? if they're treated like crap over and over and over again, are the best people going to go into it? It used to be not a really well-paid job, but a good job, and now it's not.
The only thing I would add to that, I agree with all of it. The only thing I would add is that I think if we treat and train teachers like professionals and pay them like professionals, it would be more appropriate to have more accountability. I think we have, because there are such low expectations of teachers, it's like you like can't fire any of them. And there's a balance between like you don't want to put like kids' success all on teachers, but like I'm not sure who said it, but to their point, like they're not great teachers. And I think if we treat teaching like the profession that it should be, and we can hold teachers to a higher standard.
But I think right now we're holding them to many standards. I wouldn't say they're a higher standard, but what they're responding to isn't about questions about academic excellence. We're having questions about the one trans kid in the school is being bullied. And so are you bullying that kid appropriately? Or what are you teaching? So they're all kind of gun shy, and like it doesn't matter necessarily how well your kids are doing, but I also think we also focus way too much on testing, and we don't focus on experiential learning. And so like a lot of times teachers like, kids just don't know how to play. They haven't been taught how to play because they don't have time. They have like a 10-minute recess. And you're like, you've got middle schoolers and they're jumping off the walls, and people are like, why are they acting so bad? And you're like, because they need to run around. They have energy.
Yeah, let kids be kids.
Of course they're having a hard time. So I think a big part of it is like recalibrating. I think if we kind of go, if we make it a good job, that's the baseline. And if we let stronger teachers, and another thing too is beyond penalizing them, there's teacher support. So if a teacher is struggling, you can have teachers that are more like, that are better. Like you can have a social studies support a person that has done this their whole life can give you and elevate you. And what we always do is we're like, oh, you're struggling, kick you out, instead of being like, let's mentor you, let's like help you be stronger. In our district, they got rid of some of those jobs, and then it's like the teachers struggle more. So if they're having trouble with curriculum or the way kids are responding, they don't have as much help. So I think before we like use the stick, because teachers have been getting the stick so much over and over again and attacked by parents and doubted and not like respected, we need to be making sure that they can get through. And then, but I also think if we have better people if you are a place that people want to work, like you're not going to last that long if you suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people filter themselves.
I mean, here's what I will say. I think that the education system needs a complete fucking overhaul. Yeah. I think that we need to have school all year round. I think that we need to have school from 7:30 in the morning until 5:30 at night, so that people can have an actual job while their kids are going to school and not have to worry about childcare. I think that school needs to cover things like how to cook, how to garden, how to channel your creative side, lots of art classes, lots of things that will enrich, them, classes about financing, classes about how to manage a household, how to it can't just be about testing and being a good worker. We have to give our kids more than that. And we're not doing that right now. We're failing them so miserably. If you go to Japan or you go to China, you go to these other countries that are living so far into the future than us, then we are so far behind, and it needs to be addressed. So I will argue with, I don't think we need to have school that early. I think kids don't necessarily function well at 7:30 in the morning. The issue we have is the way that we've built our schools is that you have to drive to them. They need to be walkable and bikeable, and you need to be able to take a bus. Because like I went to school in New York City, we took the subway every day. My mom didn't get us ready for school. Yeah. We just got on the subway, we made our lunches, and we moved. And then we went back. And although we were at school from 7:30 to 4:45 p.m., but that was because it was a crazy school. But like, I think that there's ways. Yeah, sorry. I just thought that was just like one point that I think like we're like, well, I have to drive my kids everywhere, and I've got to get all this stuff has to happen. And it's like, no,
You don't. We just set it up so that you do. We just set it up so kids are like completely not independent and like completely reliant on their kids, on their parents being there. That's a crazy way to live. Like, sorry, so Lexi, you can talk.
Oh no, I'm with you. Yeah, one of my hot takes is that I think schools should be open 24/7. Like because I think to me, it's a balance between like the education time to me is like that's up for discussion. Again, I'm like let the professionals decide how kids' brains work. But families are all so different, and I think kids need a safe place to be whenever. And so I think I think schools should be more like almost a third space where there is like safe. Sorry, Rose is attacking me. I love you, but you can't hang out right now.
She has opinions.
She's like, I agree. Schools aren't.
Yeah, no more school for kids, for puppies.
But I think I really, because we have working like again, Solid Rock Community Center. I think they do corporation. They're awesome, and they're working on getting childcare that's overnight. But I think that would be amazing if you kind of knew your school was like a place you could go at night that was like, that had that space for kids. Like, I don't think we necessarily need to have school year round, but we should have childcare available year round and food available year round. You know what I mean? So no kid's going to worry about starving because, and like, we just passed school lunches, free school lunches, so that there's free school breakfasts. And what's amazing about it is, then if you think about it, if somebody's economically struggling, or if they just have to work more, do you think they're going to have the time to say, hey, I need financial aid no, that's like the worst time. They're going through the worst period of their life, and you're going to try to make that family fill out a form, and then you're going to embarrass the kid instead of having it be like, of course, yeah, have lunch. Everybody gets lunch if they need lunch or breakfast. Don't worry about it. That's normal. Like,
you get tater tots, and you get tater tots, and you get tater tots, and tater tots for everybody. Yes.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, knowing that your kid is fed while you're working a double shift, that's a lot better way to live.
I also think, like, to that point, every family, holy cow. I mean, I don't have kids. I was a kid, and I was a monster. And, I think every family, even if they're not, like, really financially struggling, it would be such a benefit to know your kid can get breakfast and lunch at school. I mean, and like that's one less thing on your plate.
Can I tell? California had free school lunches and free school breakfasts, and then I moved to Texas, and for the first time ever, I have to worry about, is my kid eating breakfast? Okay, do we have time to grab something for breakfast for her? Is she eating lunch? Because they have lunches there, but you have to pay for every single thing that you put on your tray. So, of course, they have like cookies and ice cream available, and they have like pizza and fish sticks available. What do you think she's going to go for? She's going to go for the cookies and ice cream every single time. And she does, by the way. But why isn't that free? Like, why is that not? You know how much property taxes we pay? Why doesn't that cover that? It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm getting off of my shoebox now, but yes, absolutely crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, there's so much we can do to like set kids up for a better future. And it's just like, I don't have kids because I think it's really hard to have kids. So I want to make it as easy as possible for the people that do have kids to live their lives and enjoy. And I think there's just so much we could do to make it better. And like, oh God, I mean, just such an easier way to live. So anyway.
Yeah, definitely. So here's I'm gonna ask you guys one more question, and then we'll wrap it up for the night, okay? What is the first piece of legislation that you two are going to work on together?
Ooh.
Universal
and I'm gonna hold you to it.
Universal healthcare for me.
Sounds good to me. I'm down.
And then I guess the Green New Deal, or trying to get green technology. I'm sorry, that's just like, I just think if we could just get universal healthcare. There's also like, I say universal healthcare because Medicare, somebody did point out Medicaid is much better than Medicare. So using the Medicaid model might be better. And then also other countries have tightly regulated health insurance so that they're nonprofits, and also making sure hospitals are nonprofits and run by medical professionals, and then making sure like they're tightly regulated so that if they have a bunch more money, that money is reinvested into the community and reinvested into healthcare, having better ratios, having better pay, and doesn't go into like buying real estate that still somehow is supposed to count as a nonprofit.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, one of the things that's crazy to me just in general is that healthcare is a for-profit industry in this country. Like, I don't understand how people can't grasp it. Because I mean, to me, I'm just like a let's look at the numbers person. Like, what is their profit model? Charge you more, give you less services. Like that is how it functions in this country. Yeah.
And keep you sick.
Like
they
we
profit
can do better.
if you're sick. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, there are certain things. Yes, we need to pay people well. We need to pay them what they're worth. But the goal of healthcare needs to be providing healthcare, providing profit. And that's our whole economy is based on profit versus actual care, actual quality. It makes me so angry. I'm like, yes, people need competitive wages. Yes, we need to compensate people for extra learning or for specialization. Yes, but is it actually focused on the services and goods that it's supposed to provide? Are workers paid well? That has to be at the forefront. People have to be first before profit. So yeah.
I think capitalism has failed us on so many levels, and you guys have such a beautiful, wonderful opportunity to fix it. And I keep telling people this all the time, like, we're in the soup, right? We're in the shit right now. But imagine what it's going to be like if we can get all of these amazing grassroots people in our halls of Congress that actually care about us and that actually will work for us. Imagine what a blue Texas would look like. Imagine what, women's healthcare imagine what that will do, right? And it's worth a fight. It's worth the frustration.
Can I say something silly that
yes.
I feel like you'll appreciate? So one of my kind of hot takes about life is that, like, there's no meaning. I know some people are very religious, and that's fine, and I love that for you. I pretty much think that we're here by dumb luck, and in my perfect world, we should be chilling. Like, I work because it's important, and like I want to run for Congress because I want to make things better. But like, really what I would like to be doing is sitting on a rock by a river in the sunshine like a happy little lizard. And like, we have the opportunity to just make life better for people. And I think that should be the goal. Like, I think our goal should not be to be billionaires. I think it should be for all of us to just have a wonderful life and enjoy the crazy existence that we have together, and like just get to enjoy this, I don't know, experience together. And instead we have to worry about all this shit.
I mean, as amazing as it is to meet you two badass women, and it really is, I really mean that. It is so incredibly amazing to meet you guys. I would so much rather be playing Borderlands. So
I mean, I guess there is one I will say, like, it's a democracy if we can keep it, and it does take our civic engagement, like, and the goal is that we have, like, this is apocryphal, but I think, like Zelensky was saying, like, my goal is to be able to play guitar. You know what I mean? Like, that's what freedom is being able to just play guitar and enjoy my life. But this is also a part of being in a society and keeping it going. And I think we lost it, where we were like, I'm a politician, I know what to do, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, we all have to be engaged and be talking to our voters and, being involved in what's going on. We can't sit, we need to have the time. We need to set up a society where we have the time to just chill like lizards, but we also need to.
It's going to take some work for sure. Yes. Amazing. So, Zuri, I did not get to ask you what the camel was that broke your back that inspired you to run. Can you give us a little bit of a background on what inspired you to run, and a little bit of a synopsis, if you will, about your district in Colorado?
Okay, so I decided to run because, well, there's a lot of reasons. Roe v. Wade being overturned really kind of knocked something out of me. And then seeing candidates run who were okay with corporate money. Like, because we were pretty red. And so there hadn't been a lot of interest. And so there'd been a lot of grassroots activism, a lot of grassroots candidates. And then, yeah. And then we got one candidate who was a really lovely guy, but he was working with a PAC backed by Fox News and Walmart heirs and charter school advocates. And I just am like, I don't trust you. And we had a different candidate that won and against him, but he ran again. And so that I was just like, you're a nice person, but we can't have it. And now we have somebody that's absolutely corporate lobbyist for USAA, married to a banker who's also a venture capitalist. And I think people who have not been around that much money, I have been around it. I've not been rich, but they don't understand what that does to the political landscape and what is allowed to happen when you have really, really wealthy people in power and deciding who gets backed, because once they get elected to Congress, who they decide to endorse is who gets elected. And that's a power that I just don't think that this person should have, who's parachuted in from DC after working for a pretty corrupt congresswoman, and she went to high school here. So yay. And I feel like we really need to do better, and we need to have candidates that aren't taking corporate PAC money, not taking APAC money, not taking, lobbyist money from, it's like, if I take money, I support it. It's like, if I get Planned Parenthood money, okay, I support it. I support unions. But I think yes, Citizens United has been horrific, and I think we need to overturn it with a constitutional amendment when we can. But so we're trending purple. There's a lot of independent voters or unaffiliated voters because you can vote in either primary if you're in Colorado. But that also means that people participate after caucus and assembly. So then all of us insiders, quote unquote, decide on people. And if someone has a lot of money, people get really bowled over. And I think it's been kind of depressing to see some progressives. I like to say people who are progressives or call themselves democratic socialists. And it's like, wow, you really quickly became fiscal conservatives, social liberals real fast when somebody offered you money.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah. So I will ask you the same thing I asked Lexy earlier then. So how do you plan to stay rooted in the grassroots moments that got you here, despite political expediency, corporate donors, party leadership? How do you ensure that your actions will match your promises when you're running this progressive platform?
Again, not taking that money, because and often not taking those meetings, even if they don't give me money. But if I was supposed to meet, I looked up and somebody reached out and they were like, we're for diplomacy, we're for having that alongside like the Department of Defense, making sure that we've got, which I think like has, been basically like annihilated, like really working for the State Department and making sure to advocate for it. And I was like, oh, cool, let me meet with you. And then I kind of finally looked them up a little bit more, and they were backed by a lot of corporations, and they looked like they had really cool people, ex-governors, ex-senators. And I was like, from Colorado, I was like, wow. And I just was like, I can't meet with you. Not because I'm a good person, but because if I do, I am not such a good person that if you have my ear, I won't hear you. And so I have to pick who has my ear. And I got to stay firmly rooted in like the community and going out to community events, going out to the people that I think are doing really good things in the world, and stay connected with them so that I'm grounded in helping the world become a better place. And it's going to be a fight. I don't think I'm going to go there and think, oh, I'm just such a virtuous person that I won't, be tempted or think somebody's actually got a lot of integrity and really has people's best interests at heart. And I might miss. I might listen to somebody that I thought really was coming from a good place, coming from, academic place, and I just might miss. And so I just think it's something you have to be vigilant about. I think that's what we haven't been, is like, we haven't been vigilant. We've kind of been just sort of laissez-faire, whatever's happening is happening. And it's like, no, we have to kind of be vigilant about what we stand for and what we're working for, and keep people updated on what we're working on and what might not be working out. And sorry, just because I think what happens is we were just pat people's head and say, we know what we have to do, instead keeping people along with their with the process. Like, what's going on? Who isn't voting for what? What do we need to have happen in order for this to pass safely without having ramifications? Like, what are the bitter pills in the bill that are not okay? And just keep people updated in real time so they don't have to figure it all out at the end of the process and then be like, oh my God, we got bamboozled. Or like, why didn't you vote for that? Like, really explain it. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, that's can I ask you guys to run for office in Texas, please?
Absolutely not.
Please.
I don't want to
No.
be
She's like,
Texas.
no.
Sorry. I like it. I like just like I'm an honest person. I don't want to do that to myself.
Amazing. So can you guys tell me how you feel about the Electoral College?
Burn it down. It's gerrymandering.
Agree.
Yes.
Agree.
Here's
Yes.
my hot take. Okay, I've been saying hot take a lot. I normally don't say this that
That's
much.
okay.
So
No, you're good.
the president is one person advocating for the whole country. That means I think every single person in the country should get an equal vote. Like, I understand whatever Senate, House, balancing state and population. I mean, I think that's a different conversation. But the president, one person representing the country, every single person should get an equal vote. I think it's that simple to me.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's just a really logical, grounded like, idea.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Clear as mud. Yep. I like it. Simple, straight to the point. I love it. That's fantastic. Awesome. Okay, well, ladies, listen. I would love to have you guys back. We could sit here and talk. We could literally sit here and talk all night long, just shoot the shit about policy. And, it would just be amazing because you guys are great. And you need to run for office in Texas because, oh my God, it would be so nice to have congressional people like you. You like your districts have no idea how lucky they are to have amazing, wonderful, talented, passionate women like you guys running for office. Rye, I hope you're listening. Rye, I hope you're listening. Texas needs women like you running. Rye.
Right.
Right.
Women.
I don't know who you are, but it sounds like you should run for office.
I'm on board.
Rye is incredible. And yeah, I'm gonna let you up so you could tell these wonderful people about you. But yeah, you need to run for office, babes, because Texas needs you like so much.
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
I've heard you the other times before.
Yes, I'm not gonna stop. Women have to. Kate Barr. I don't know if you guys know who Kate Barr is. She's running for Congress in North Carolina as a Republican, but she's a Democrat. She's running the Can't Win Victory Fund. She's amazing. She's amazing. She knows she's not gonna win, but that's
I
the
will
point,
say
right?
this too, in terms of great people running in Texas. I don't know if it's on your radar, Jess, but there's another person, Jessica Cohen. She was one of the protesters during the sit-in at the Capitol with Rep. Collier when she was on the floor. She's running for Texas Dem chair here in Texas.
Yes, that's amazing.
So-
We need
Also,
more of
Jess,
that.
you might end up running. I ended up running after
I
volunteering
know,
for
Jess.
10
It
years.
sounds like a lot of big talk. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you kind of you do it and you work on other people's campaigns and they don't do things the way that you want to do it. And suddenly you're like, okay, you know what? Whether I fail or not, at least I get to do it my way
Yes.
and try. So you might end up doing it. I bet you will.
Not you, then who?
I plan to. Here's my thing. I have to live in Texas for 7 years before I can run. That's
What?
just that's their stupid rules.
Interesting.
So,
Well, there you go. You got a countdown.
but I have not looked at like school board seats or some of those smaller seats, which would be a really great way to get into politics and sort of like get your feet wet a little bit. So I have been marinating. Okay.
Amazing.
As it is right now, because I'm new to Texas, y'all aren't ready for me. So,
Well, I
we
will
gotta
say,
kind of,
judging how we are right now, we're gonna, even if Texas still stands as a state, we're gonna need all the help we can get afterwards, because the aftermath of all of this, I don't know if you saw all the coverage of Ken Paxton and what he's been up to lately, but he's put out a tip form for SB 8 that also encourages private citizens to post photos. There are no guidelines for that, so conservative pundits are taking that to take pictures of people in restrooms, which is highly illegal. So it is a troubling time to be here in Texas. And also, my other opinion on that is that he did that to distract from his divorce proceedings being made public.
That I'm certain. I'm certain of that.
Yeah.
Oh my.
We have some work to do here, for sure. But we also have, we're lucky in that we have some really amazing people running for office here too. They're not like, you know, they're not like, they have different points of view as far as the way things go in Texas. If it were my choice, Texas would be like the bluest, most liberal lunatic stronghold ever. Like if I could do that, that would be amazing. But Texas is different. It's a
Well,
little different
I
down
can
here,
also
so.
attest to, from someone who lived on East Coast in New York for growing up there and then moving down here when I was about like 10 years old. There are a lot of overlaps. I'm sure, Lexi, running in Georgia, you can empathize with this. There's a lot of overlap when it comes to conservative issues in democratic spaces where like farmers are facing huge monopolies when it comes to not even only owning the soil under their feet and not the chickens they raise or other things like that. We're also now like Colorado and our battle here with legalizing weed and the infighting and everything that happened there. I mean, it is the amount of Texans that watch or hear my stuff with a voice filter agree with me, and then they're just like, wait, no, hold on. I didn't mean to agree with that person.
I'll tell y'all, one of my like life goals. So I grew up in South Carolina. I've like lived in the South my whole life. One of my life goals is teaching like Southern rural conservatives class consciousness. Like, y'all, you're on the team with us. You just don't realize it.
It's the South Park, but there's like, they took our jobs. And it's like, yes, they did. Who did it?
Yeah. Who?
We have a so yeah, and because you know people have socialized medicine, but they've been getting cuts, and they get sent out on like with Trump, they'll get sent on crazy missions, and it's just like, come on, guys, like fight for yourselves, fight for yourselves to be treated well.
Yeah, exactly. So Rye, did you have any questions for our guests before I drop you back down? Thank you, by the way, so much for popping up, and I will continue to nag your awesome ass to run for Congress or something.
No problem. I will say that one of my biggest issues, especially as an activist, is always queer issues. When it comes to, I know you were talking about healthcare and stuff. Do you have any opinions on the latest passage of MGT's ban on a gender-affirming care otherwise in that realm?
I'll just say wanted to say this earlier and got distracted, but kind of with the Roe situation, one of the things that I would like to see is a law that just gets the government out of healthcare. I think it should be like in general, like queer issues, women's issues, whoever's issues, honestly. Like, I don't think it's something that the government should be legislating. Like, healthcare issues should be a private matter between an individual and their doctor. And like, to me, that's the end of it. Like, I don't think any politician anywhere should be telling doctors how to do their jobs. Same thing like with the teachers. Like, you're a professional, you know way better than I do about how to take care of your patients. Like, I shouldn't have a say in that.
Yeah, that's one of I totally agree. I think that's one of the issues I sometimes see with Medicare for All, where it's fully single payer, where we're establishing what kind of care people can receive. I want to make sure that the providers are deciding the correct care people are getting rather than necessarily the government doing that for us. It's like setting prices for procedures, setting prices for drugs, absolutely, but deciding what gets covered and what gets taken care of, that should be in the hands of providers. And if you see a lot of fraud, if you see a lot of like weird things coming out that shouldn't be there, investigate it. But I think, yeah, it should just be in their hands.
Agreed, definitely.
Absolutely. I think that I tried to describe to my mom, and she on the phone was like, "Well, it's these parents who want it for the children." I'm like, "Wait, whoa, hold up. There are no cases of this ever happening where a parent is like forcibly do." It was kind of she's very progressive, but at the same time, very establishment progressive sometimes, where she does that thing where I'm like, nope, these are very right-wing adjacent talking points. So
it's very fear-based, which is
100%
silly.
And
I
like
phrase it
people have
basically like, if you have diabetes and you and your doctor decide to get you on insulin, and then the politician comes in and says, "Hey, by the way, you can't take insulin, but we can put you on horse dewormer," like that's a huge crazy thing that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. I think that's it. Sorry. I had a thought, but it just shouldn't be in the government's hands, and it should be between the person and their provider and best practices coming up. What is best
Absolutely.
practices? And it needs to update. Like, that's the thing about a good healthcare system, is it's not just like we put it in and then done. No, we keep going. We keep having to like revise it, fix it, see what needs to happen, but like making sure kids are safe, and that includes trans kids, is so important. We just have to make sure that, especially because trans kids are a tiny minority of the population. So
It's a different
accommodating
1%.
them.
A lot of people need to worry about a lot more. So
Yeah, well, and it's also like accommodating trans kids truthfully might look different at different school districts in different ways, but we can like make sure that at least that's founded in a sense of like, do you have respect for this child? Like
100%.
One of the things that I like to remind people is that more representatives voted against trans athletes in the NCAA than there are trans athletes in the NCAA. Like, really, this is not a problem.
Yeah, 100%. And I think also too, as someone who is really in the front lines, especially because I know even in like Colorado, which is more blue leaning or otherwise, we are the forefront of all of these like anti-queer legislations, or all these really out there things that then get repackaged and redistributed to different like states. I very much love to hear when people running for office are more sticking to their guns on that, because it becomes a very different kind of beast when it comes to, oh, well, now like this is facing our community, and what do you do from here? So I greatly appreciate both y'all's time and wish you the best in running, especially you, Jess, when you run. Yay!
I just want to say one last thing, because this is something that really gets me upset. I think people make the issues way more difficult than it needs to be. Like, I know there's been a lot of discussion in the Democratic Party about like how to deal with trans issues. I think it's a bullshit conversation. Like, we don't leave anyone behind. That's, to me, is like, if we're talking about human rights, we don't leave anyone behind. It's that simple. And
didn't the DNC chair also say that they made a whole big study and now they're not going to be releasing it? So they spent like what, 7 figures on that? 8, and now they're not to find out what they did wrong last cycle. And I'm pretty sure it was not tackling things like affordability or running a candidate who wasn't going to croak out on the stage, as we are seeing currently with the one who beat out the other one. So
yeah, maybe have a real primary. I don't know. I think there's a few ideas here.
They could just give me 6 of those figures, and I could give them all that advice, and they would save so much money. Right?
We're cheap. We'll do it.
Yeah. I'll admit it. I'm cheap. I'll do it. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Rye, for popping up. You're always welcome, okay?
Of course. Happy to be dragged up.
Yay!
And it wasn't my cat this time.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was watching and it was off to the side, and then it said, "Oh, Rye, thank you for coming up." And I'm like, what?
So funny. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Bri. We always appreciate you.
Of course, y'all have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
All
Sorry,
right,
somebody's
so
picking up
Lexy,
postcards. So
hey,
I want to make sure it's ready.
that's what we got to do, right? You gotta work it. I don't know. Okay, so Lexy, can you just drop people, how people can get involved in your campaign?
Yeah, so on the website we have a sign up form. You can check if you want to do like phone banking or whatever, canvassing. If you want to donate, there's a donate link on the website. I need all the help I can get, really. This is a gerrymandered district. I think we got a real shot at flipping it, but it's going to be tough. So it's definitely going to take all hands on deck. And yeah, if you want to help, I would love to have your support. I'm on most of the social medias. Yeah, just any way you want to get involved, I would love to have you. And I'll be back, I'm sure. So we'll chat some more.
Definitely. What about you, Zuri? How can people get involved in your campaign?
So zuriforcd5.com. So it's just my username, and that's me across all platforms, basically. Please, I hate being the person to be like, please donate, but please donate. Just because I did a really bad job at the beginning, because I really I did not fundraise. And I got money, and it was just kind of coming, and it was nice. It wasn't a ton compared to the other people, but I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, wait a minute, I do actually have to get donations. And then I also love volunteers, and we've had a really, really great group of volunteers helping out. So just get involved, get on the email list, help out if you can. I really appreciate it. I know it's the worst. The process is the worst, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. So, so please donate and volunteer and get on our email list. And if you are in Colorado Springs and El Paso County, please come to Caucus and Assembly.
Amazing. Mike, thank you so much for joining. Ladies, this is Mike, and he's down here.
Hey, Mike.
Mike is also running for Congress in Wisconsin, so you guys should get together and work on the healthcare bill. So
cool.
Absolutely.
I'm in.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, you guys made this background for me. So
we sure did. He's in Wisconsin. He's cheesy guy. I mean, come on, it fits.
I saw it and I had to use it.
Yes, marvelous. Do you have questions for these amazing women?
Absolutely, and yeah, my primary goal is universal health care or single payer health care or whatever we can get past that will actually focus on that. And yeah, be happy to work with you on that, because that's one thing I've been trying to do with everyone. There's been so many good candidates who I've met across the nation, and some of them through Jess, some of them through other people on TikTok, some of them through people I just met, and they're like, hey, you're running for Congress, right? Can you talk to this person? Because they have some questions. And I think the common thread has been universal healthcare, has been focusing on affordability is a hot buzzword right now, but it really means just how can you make it so that your constituents can actually live? Because right now I wish I could get elected sooner, because I've got constituents who in a month are going to be hurting. And I guess one thing I would ask both of you is how you have weathered the fact that you're not going to be in office at the earliest until 27. And there's going to be a lot of changes between then and now. How have you made your campaign something that will help your constituents now, in addition to in a year?
So I've kind of I kind of am running like if I was in office in a certain way, going out a lot to community events and interviewing people and talking about what is working in the community, ways that we can be involved. If there's an issue happening, like our neighborhood pantry got shut down, writing city council. So just doing whatever I can do with like what I have and the platform that I have to make those issues be a little bit more known by people. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of same. I don't love it. I feel like, we're kind of watching a slow train wreck, and knowing that I won't get to make a difference until a year from now at the earliest is really tough. But I mean, I did a meet and greet this week, and it was like a food drive. So I think there's lots of ways that we can, make a difference right now, even if it's not those big structural things that we get the opportunity to do.
Well, I actually have to say my bigger worry is that we get a bunch of Dems elected who don't want to do anything. That's my real worry, is that we win and we do everything on the margins and we don't fix the big problems. That's truthfully, I think Dems will win if things don't get so crazy gerrymandered. I think Trump is tanking our economy. My real fear is we get people in office who just do not care or cannot. If you got in office because of big money, you're not going to be able to change things because the people that are your real constituents are corporations. And that's my fear.
I think we got to step out of line. If we get elected, I think there's a lot of representatives that get in wanting to do the right thing and then get told to sit down and shut up. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not very good at sitting down and shutting up. So I think that's how we change things, is just refusing to be rank and file. And having hopefully each other's back to be like, this has to happen. We're going to fight hard. We're not going to be nice. You know what I mean? Like I always say, like, I'm running because I'm kind of a bitch. It's like I'm not running because I'm a sweetie. You know what I mean? Like we're not running at a time where being a doll is great. I think we need to run and be like, this is what we stand for, and I'm going to fight hard for it. And whatever levers I have, like if I'm in a building and I have access to that building and they're doing terrible stuff, you better be dragging me out of that building, because I know I'm allowed to be here, and I'm not going to just like show them my ID, have them say, no, you can't come in, and then just leave. That's a joke.
Well, they're just not letting me in, guys. I just don't know what to tell you. Like,
I think one of the things we can do is we get past the primaries. We see who's around. We see, okay, this is what we're going in with. And I'm going to be talking to everybody and saying, okay, we get in day one. What's the plan?
Yeah.
Because so many times, like, the Democrats get accused of basically beating themselves and not having an idea of where they're going. Day one, I want to have an idea of what we're doing. So you best believe if we clear the primaries, I will be talking to both of you, and we're going to be organizing before we get in. And, some of it's going to be how many people get in the Senate, how many people get in the House, what kind of majority we have, what kind of people got in. I have 5 people. There's 6 people total, including me, in my primary. So I'm going to have, the good news is, I will say this with all honesty, I can't say one of them would be bad. Like we have all committed publicly that we will not speak ill of each other. I talk of them as my running mates. And many of them are my friends. Heck, many of them were people. I have a little list somewhere early on in my campaign, people I want to recruit to my campaign. 3 of them are on it.
Nice.
I basically created my own primary opponents, but that's okay. We will, whoever wins that primary, we will be in their office the next day saying, how are we going to win? And that I feel quite confident will be a good progressive Democrat who wants to do the right things. Now, what form that right thing will take is going to be how many people we get in and what kind of power we have. So I look forward to seeing both of your faces on the call that happens after that primary date, because we're going to be planning.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's so nice that you have that, like, that that you've got real progressives there. Like, I think that's my biggest fear is just not,
that's
winning,
not the case everywhere.
Winning as because we're a long shot. I think Lexy and I have actually really similar constituencies in a certain way. We've got like 5 military bases. But we also just lost US Space Command. But I think my biggest fear is getting there and just not doing anything. Yeah. So that we just lost it with a Republican. And it's like, how did it help to have a Republican in if we lost like nearly $1 billion?
Does your district include Cannon City?
No, that's like to the left and down.
To the left. My dad lives in Colorado. I was just wondering.
No, Canyon City has is conservative, but it also has its school boards are pretty cool. Apparently, it hasn't gotten.
I did geology field school in Canyon City.
Nice.
Who knew Canyon City was going to be such a star?
I know.
There sometimes. It's actually a really cute little city. It's a cute city. It's a good city.
I've been there a couple times.
There's good rocks. I can tell you that.
We have good rocks to be if you're a paleontologist.
Yeah. Love it.
Remember the dinosaur feet.
Yeah. Amazing.
I'm really glad that you ladies got on tonight, and I wish you luck in both of your campaigns. I'm going to need the same, because when you say you're a long shot, I've already been told by people that we have no chance of winning. Straight up. By people who I actually respect their opinions. But that doesn't mean I think we have no chance of winning because of what's going on right now. I mean, that lady down in Tennessee? That was
Afton Baines.
Afton Baines,
I couldn't remember how to pronounce her name. That was a 25-point Trump win, and she only lost by 7%. If I can get that margin, I can win.
Yeah.
The same. That's exactly the same for us. It's like we were like 52, 53, and we were 41%. And I was like, well, we could win. We would have won.
Doable.
Yeah. So
we can flip a lot of seats.
Yeah. That's why it's like, we have to friggin' win these goddamn, I have to get past caucus and assembly and then get on the primary ballot. So pray for me. Endorse me. I just need the help.
Definitely.
It matters.
Anything I can do to help, I am always willing to do. I tell people that if they're in a primary, I will help everyone equally. Like if one side of as long as they're pretty, I'm blessed with the fact that I can look at my primary opponents and they're pretty much my, values, as it were.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a one who's against universal health care. I don't think there's a one who's against, doing something about housing. We were all for the same things. But the only reason I didn't drop out is because I think I have the best chance to win. And that's something that we can't overlook. That is, we have to say, it's great that all of us are pro all these good things, but we have to be able to say, okay, do you know how to win? And can you win? Because that isn't true for everybody. And I wish it was, but it's not. And there are ways we can make that happen, though. And I think that I think we just need to pool our knowledge, and we can make this work.
I think that the three of you guys should follow each other for sure.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think I did. Yeah.
Any resources that you guys have that you can share with each other as far as your fundraising and your volunteers. And I understand that, the country, we have a huge country, right? And the things for Colorado might not work in Wisconsin or in Georgia, but the more you guys are talking to each other, I feel like the more successful you're going to be. And of course, it takes a village, right? So we are always going to be here to help support you guys no matter what you need. You all have the rebooking link, and I hope that you will use it, especially you two amazing ladies, because I would love to have you back and chat some more. And you too, Mike. But I mean, there's something to be said for badass womenry, right? So
Indeed.
Yes. Yes, networking is the key. So just a reminder, you guys know how we feel about big money in politics, right? Spoiler alert, it's super gross. Okay. We want candidates who serve the people, not special interests, but that money has to come from somewhere. So whether it's your wallet or your time, if it's just hitting a like on a post or sharing their content, or volunteering. It's going to take all of us. Phone banking is super easy. Please don't be scared of phone banking. If you have questions about that, let me know. I'm more than happy to help navigate that. And candidates, these campaigns don't run on good vibes alone. They need all of us to pull together. So please do everything that you can to help these guys. Every little bit helps, even if it's just $1. Send whatever you can, as often as you can. And if you can't do it with your money, do it with your time. Okay. So, massive shout out to all the incredible content creators that were here tonight to support us. Thank you all so much. If you need bold, this is my commercial section, by the way. This is my little commercial section, because we have merch. It Takes a Village has merch, yes. And if you want to support a Latina-owned independent business and grassroots candidates and an indie content creator, I'm calling myself an indie content creator, that's what I am. At the same time, you can do that by going to my showcase and picking up your stuff from Not Your Merch, because they give you these amazing things that you can wear on your chest that tells everybody what side of history you're on. And it inspires bravery, and it inspires camaraderie, and especially when you are in a red place like I am, it is really important to be able to wear your voice on your chest so people know you are a safe person to be around and they don't feel so desperately alone. So please check out the showcase if you want to. Otherwise, donate to these amazing people. Oh, they're on this side. I changed my settings and they're all like, it's all crazy. Anyways, check out your voter registration at vote.gov. Keep an eye on your local election schedules in your area. Ask us about our Discord, because all these guys' primary dates are loaded in there for you, so you takes all the guesswork right out of it. And join us on January 5th. That's going to be our next show. We have 2 weeks off, guys. This was our Christmas schedule, the show. So, do you guys like eggnog? Do you like eggnog? Are you fans of eggnog? Mike's like, yes. Zuri's like, no. Lex is like,
I'm a medium. I'm a beer girl.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, heck yeah.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
I'm like a water
You should
drinker.
go to Wisconsin.
I love that for us. So so make sure you guys are having a wonderfully safe holiday. It's going to be 77 degrees here in Texas. No white Christmas for us. Super depressing about that.
It's
I like
-7 here.
Oh my
I want to
God.
trade. Can we trade? Look, I have a sweater. Isn't this the cutest pickle sweater you ever saw in your life? So adorable. Anyway,
Oh, I'd rather
guys are
77.
I like the
No, not the
cold.
cold.
But
I do
it's but
too.
Wisconsin cold is different. Wisconsin cold is icy and wet, and it is cold.
Yeah.
It bites.
We had a lot of accidents last night.
Yeah. Wisconsin cold bites. Like it.
It gets into
It's
your
very-
bones. We lived in the
it does.
Chicago area. It's not good.
Definitely. Yes. The wind chill this morning was -0. That sounds
Oh,
blustery.
that's okay. That's fine. That's not too bad.
Sure.
I'll take
Amazing.
-0 over negative. I think the worst I ever saw was -53.
Nope.
It was
Nope.
-20 with a 50-mile-an-hour wind.
Oh,
That
God.
was
We got to
fun.
draw the line somewhere. I'm just saying. I don't do the wind. I don't like the wind. My hair is way too cute for that. So, Anywho, I hope you guys have a wonderfully safe holiday, a safe, wonderful new year. I hope to see you guys back at the after the new year. And I want to hear about your primaries. Please keep us updated on your campaigns. We have so many resources in our Discord if you guys are interested in joining us. And it's a great place to collaborate as well. So if there's anything we could do to help you guys, please let us know. Okay. So I appreciate everybody for being here tonight. Thank you all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah,
Merry
Happy
Christmas,
Kwanzaa,
everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Be
all of
safe.
the
Don't
holidays.
Happy
drink too
all of
much.
them, and thanks for having us and making such an awesome, inviting forum with like people that are really like. I didn't realize how it would be progressives that are from states that are or districts that are a little bit more red and purple, and I'm so grateful to have met you guys. Thank you.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. You guys are going to do such great things, and we're rooting for you every step of the way. So, hey, all right,
Thanks, y'all.
be safe,
We'll
you
see you
guys.
later.
Bye.
We'll see you next
Bye,
year.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you next year.
See you next year.
Bye.
It takes a village.